Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
It is a major development in the Oxford High School shooting case. After nearly 11 months behind bars, the accused shooter is expected to plead guilty to all charges. And we want to emphasize the word expected, as nothing is certain until a hearing, which is set for Monday morning.
But that is the word today from the assistant Oakland County prosecutor. It is raising hopes that a trial and all of the pain, of course, that would involve won't be needed.
We have team coverage, including Sean Lane, live in Oxford with reaction from the community. But we want to begin with Karen Drew. She's in Pontiac at the prosecutor's office with the new developments in this case. Karen, good evening.
Yes, we are live outside of the Oakland County Jail. Behind me, Ethan Crumbly sits in a jail cell along with his parents. This news, Kim and Devin, huge. The news that he is expected to plead guilty to 24 counts. Let's take a look at the latest developments. Right now, we're hearing that he will plead guilty to those 24 counts. It includes various felonies and murder. But the one thing that is catching everyone's eye, it also includes a count of terrorism. From what we understand, there has been no school shooter in the country that has ever been charged and pled guilty to a terrorism count. That is huge. He is expected in court on Monday, as you said, charged as an adult. The prosecutor's office telling us there are no reductions, no agreements regarding sentencing. Now, let's talk a little bit more about the terrorism charge, because victims have been notified, and a lot of people were asking exactly, what does that mean? We talked with a legal expert to find out a little bit more about why this is so important and really landmark that this terrorism charge is being handed down.
Significance of the terrorism count is more about the families and the students who survived. Obviously, they were the ones that were, are going to continue to live with this and or have been victimized by this. And so, to me, the terrorism count goes more towards them, and perhaps vindication, whatever vindication this can be for those who are suffering through this.
And that leads us to a little bit thinking, okay, now why is this coming down? From what we can tell from the legal experts, they're telling us, if Crumbly was 18, that would be a mandatory life sentence in that charge. But since he is 16, a judge would actually decide on whether or not that would be a life sentence. So there's some speculation, perhaps that is why that plea is coming down now. Parents, obviously, all talking about this here in Oxford. Lori Bourgeau, we talked to you a little bit earlier this week. You're a parent of a senior. You heard news about this. Your reaction was a little bit different. Tell us a little bit about your thoughts.
Yeah, at first I was a little shocked, but after processing the emotions, my thoughts went to the facts. What are going to happen to the facts? We've been told by the school we don't need an investigation. The facts are going to come out in the trial. If we don't have a trial, where do those facts go? How do we find them? How do we find out every point of intervention that the school made a mistake at and make Michigan schools safer?
And in terms of the students, I know you talked to your child and they've been talking to each other. What are they saying today with this news?
Yeah, my son he's torn. He doesn't know how to feel. He wonders why he's doing this. Is he losing something by him pleading? And is it in his best interest or in the victim's best interest?
Obviously, a lot of mixed emotions. It's very difficult, obviously, for everyone as we approach this year anniversary. I know Sean Lay has spent some time this afternoon in Oxford outside of the school talking with folks. We'll send it over to you for that part of our coverage. Sean?
Good evening from Oxford, Karen. Everyone, word spreading fast here this afternoon. When the news broke, people we're coming in contact with are well aware that this guilty plea is likely coming on Monday.
Good morning, Mr. Crumbly. Can you hear us okay, sir?
Yes, I can.
And are you okay with proceeding via Zoom this morning?
Yes, I do.
The accused Oxford high school shooter made a court appearance just yesterday. That was a monthly hearing to determine that he would remain in the Oakland County Jail and not be moved to a juvenile facility. Now, breaking news that he plans to plead guilty. The day of the tragedy, students gathered by Bob Drake's home near the school. He's reacting to the news this way.
I think it needs time to get this all over with. I think that's a good thing. I don't think we need any more publicity. And I just hope, that everything works out for everybody.
Word is spreading fast about the guilty plea. Some are not surprised.
Well, I think he was guilty. And, when there's consequences for your actions, and when you do stuff that's not acceptable and not legal, then you got to suffer the consequences.
Just yesterday, I sat down with two families impacted by this tragedy. They both said they were looking forward to the trial to get the facts on the table and learn more about what happened and why. Now I'm told those families are going to reserve judgment and not speak until after this plea coming Monday. Back to you.
Okay, Sean, thank you.
Now again, the hearing's set for Monday morning. We will carry that live on Local 4 Plus. Much more in the story coming up tonight on Local 4 News at 11.
Yeah, really interesting perspective, too, from the parents.
Yep.
The January 6th committee has issued its subpoena to former President Trump. The committee voted unanimously last week to subpoena him, and today they made it official. It calls for the former president to testify November 14th. The panel is also asking for a series of documents, including personal communications between Trump and members of Congress, as well as extremist groups. No response yet from Trump and his legal team.
Well, after the couple of days that we had for most of this week, isn't it nice to get to the scene that you see on the right side of your screen?
We need this little bit of a reprieve here. Gorgeous shot there, and the weekend shaping up to be nice too, Brian.
Yeah, that's right, Kimberly and Devin. A very nice weekend on the way and a very beautiful picture heading towards sunset this evening. Tower cam from Windsor looking across the river. A nice orange glow as we've worked throughout the evening. Temperatures on the warm side of things sitting at 68 right now here in Detroit, 67 over in Howell, 66 right now in Pontiac, and 69 over in Adrian. Compare this to where we were this time yesterday, and all of southeastern Michigan is running upwards of 20 to 25 degrees warmer, and we're going to keep that warming trend into the forecast the entire weekend. 60s this evening, dropping into the 50s by 10 o'clock tonight. Grab the jacket if you're going to be heading out, but we do have some rain on the way, but it's not going to be here for at least a few days. We'll talk more about that and how warm things will get over the weekend. Your complete 4-1 forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Brian. The man charged with killing a 17-year-old girl and then dumping her body on I-94 in St. Clair Shores was in court today. Police say Taya Land met 20-year-old Nathaniel Taylor on an app. Police say they met in person 1 week ago and got into an argument. They say Taylor pushed Taya out of his car and then shot her 3 times in the head. Her body was found on I-94 near 8 Mile. Taylor is now charged with second-degree murder. He was given a $2 million cash bond.
A Thursday morning, Commerce Township house fire also sparked an animal cruelty investigation. This is the startling picture from the Commerce Township Fire Department showing many, but sadly not all, of the cats firefighters pulled from the blaze. Some didn't make it. Local 4's Rod Maloney has the story.
We see the remnants of a small house fire here, but the ramifications of this fire are far larger than what you see here, because not only did they have too many cats in this house, they had more cats than the shelter can handle. Go behind the house, you get a far different picture, significant fire damage, and if you look closely, you will see a lone cat sitting on the deck. This is one of dozens allowed to live in this Winewood Lane home. Felines Township Fire Chief Jim Dundas says it took better than an hour to find and capture. A far different story than the homeowner initially gave.
Well, he had indicated to us that he had 3, and then after we pulled out maybe the first dozen or so, I said, how many cats are in there? And he said he didn't know.
In all, Oakland County Animal Control pulled 38 cats from the fire. Many suffered smoke inhalation, and 5 did not survive.
They had free range of the entire house. With not much housekeeping for them. So the living conditions, both for the animals and the people there, were very poor.
A neighbor who goes by the name of Susan and wouldn't go on camera told us.
We step up and help our own when they need it. A lot of help was offered to help him with the outside maintenance or whatever. It was declined.
Today, many of the cats are getting oxygen treatments at the Oakland County Animal Shelter in Pontiac. But the shelter was already packed with cats, and now they're at capacity. Joan Toole is the shelter's manager.
That's very sad. Unfortunately, we do see that hoarding side of it a lot. Hopefully, we can get these cats all rehomed.
Now, they were able to take the 5 cats that passed away in this incident and sent them to the Michigan State University Veterinary Hospital for necropsies to make sure that they understand how these cats died. They think it was smoke inhalation, but they want to know more. In the meantime, the shelter is in fact full of not only cats, but dogs, and they're asking anybody who's thinking about adopting to come swing by. Back to you.
Yeah. So, Rod, what about that animal cruelty investigation? Where's that going? Where does that stand?
Well, as it stands right now, they're looking at trying to get criminal animal cruelty charges against this homeowner. Now, I gave him a call today, wanted to talk to him, get him to say something about what happened. He said he would absolutely refuse comment.
Yeah. Okay, Rod, thanks.
Meanwhile, a Macomb County veterinarian formally charged today with animal cruelty. Wayne Gilchrist of Ray Township appeared before a judge this afternoon. We first showed you last week parts of that disturbing video that had been circulating online of the vet yelling and roughly handling his German Shepherd. Megan Woods live with the breakdown of what happened in court. Megan.
Devin, the judge had a lot to consider when setting the bond today, including a claim from Gilchrist's attorney saying that the dog involved in all of this bit another dog in the home and that Gilchrist was using an alpha roll procedure to take down that dog and protect everybody else in the home. But animal control is saying no, this is abuse, this is cruelty. Take a listen.
Get over here! The defendant did seek that dog out in that video. The dog is trying to hide behind the kitchen table, and the defendant pursues the dog, and that he acts on the dog in a very violent way.
That's Chief Jeff Randazzo of Macomb County Animal Control. He says during the investigation, Gilchrist's wife said he had a temper and she was trying to get him help for it. But Gilchrist's attorney says that and this video are hearsay.
Your Honor, as the court knows, what counts in a legal proceeding is legally admissible evidence, not hearsay evidence, not what's posted online.
Despite animal control removing Gilchrist's 3 dogs, his attorney is asking for them back.
He loves those dogs immensely. They are part of his family. The kids love those dogs.
The judge declined that request, saying no contact with animals, and issued a $25,000 10% bond.
You had an obligation, sir, to de-escalate.
But the question remains, if the evidence shows violence, why is Gilchrist only being charged with a misdemeanor? We asked the Macomb County prosecutor.
We are confined to the law that we are provided. If we don't have the law on our side to charge with a felony, we can't. And to overcharge just because, that's an injustice.
The prosecutor says there are only 2 animal cruelty and animal abuse laws in the state of Michigan, and if people want that to change, they need to reach out to their lawmakers. He also says that investigators are sorting through a phone and looking at if there are more videos, and if there are, more information could be released. So we're waiting to see what comes of that. Live in Macomb County, I'm Megan Woods, Local 4.
Stay on top of it. All right, Megan.
All right, still ahead. Our fall feast for the eyes continues. Hi, Paula.
Hey guys, so I want you to take a look at this. I'm at foot 1. Ahead of me, an additional 1,023 feet. I'm not sure if you're looking at the people, the bridge, the colors, or the no visible means of support. We're going to take you for a live walk coming up on Local 4 News.
It's spectacular. All right, Paula, back to you shortly. Also, there's new information about a Michigan family's last known whereabouts after they mysteriously left their home near Grand Rapids. We'll have the latest on that case when we come back.